Hi guys, and welcome to our first Facebook video. I'm really excited to have you here. And just before we jump into this, I want to say quickly that all of these Facebook private community videos are going to be a lot less edited than the course materials. And the reason for that is that I would rather spend my time connecting and communicating with and helping you than spending time editing these little lesson videos in post-processing. So let's go ahead and jump into this lesson. And this was a question that I got from quite a few of you when you sent me your first questions, which, by the way, were great. But this question was quite simply, what do I post? Or what should I post? And I really understand that that can be confusing. So I definitely want to tackle this today. So let's go ahead and dive into this explanation, okay? So, you as a person, you're a complex individual, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things that make you who you are. There's different things you enjoy. Perhaps you like the outdoors. Perhaps you love to cook. Perhaps you just like hanging out with your friends or playing golf on Sundays. Maybe you're a parent. That could be another role that you play. And the fact of the matter is that there's just a bunch of different aspects of who you are that define you, okay? The problem comes in when you start to think in a personal way instead of a professional way when it comes to your marketing and your branding. So I think that's what's happening to quite a few of you, is that you are treating your Instagram posts as you would your personal Facebook account posts, and that you're not really thinking strategically, you're not thinking with any intention behind the content that you're producing. So we want to fix that today, all right? And let me explain why this is confusing to a consumer and why it makes a difference in your overall promotion, your overall strategy. So let's say that your Instagram today looks something like this, which for some of you it does, and you're just sort of sharing all these different aspects of your life in one place, all right? That's a mistake, okay? Because when we have this consumer, this guy here, and he stumbles across your Instagram account and he sees all these different aspects of who you are, and it's confusing. And the fact of the matter is that they're not interested in everything you offer. They're just not, okay? And that's good, and I'll explain why in a second. They don't care that you're a parent. They don't care that you have great nature photos. They don't really want to see pictures of your friends or know that you cooked like a great dinner last night. They really don't care that you golf on Saturdays. What we want them to care about is that you're an author, okay? So let me explain this a step further. Whenever you are promoting anything, creating a brand, what have you, when you are marketing something, it's really important that you define yourself very, very clearly, okay? And there's a reason for that. You want to be attracting a specific audience type. Let's say that. So, if you have a profile that is clearly defined, it's consistent, it's cohesive, it's recognizable, and it's all about you as an author, you are then able to attract the audience that you want. You want the audience who's interested in books, who's interested in writing. These are the audience members who are going to support the sale of your book. They're going to be interested in what you have to say on this subject. This is the audience you want, okay? So you need to get rid of all this extra stuff, because we don't want the consumer who's interested in more golf content. We don't want the consumer who's interested in your nature pictures. We don't want the consumer who's interested in recipes. Why? Because where does this consumer get you? This consumer has no interest in your book, in your authorship. they're not gonna buy your book. They're not gonna support the sale of it. They're not gonna help you promote it, okay? What we want is this audience. So how do we get this audience, okay? And the way you do that is by creating a profile and creating content that this audience is interested in. This audience wants to know you as an author. They don't want to know you as a mom of 3. They don't want your parenting tips. They don't want a million cute pictures of your cat, okay? They want to know what it's like for you to be an author. They want to know about your writing process, and they want to know about your book, okay? So there's a connection here that we need to take advantage of, okay? So this is really going to be, more than anything, a mindset shift for you. You're going to need to start thinking about your content and how you produce it and what you produce and what audience that's for, okay? And the mindset you're going to have to change from is right now you're thinking about posting as a personal thing. It's not. It's professional. Personal means you're just sort of posting anything you want. It's anything about your life at all. There's no intention or strategy or real thought behind it. Professional means that you are producing content with a goal in mind. You're producing content that will attract the right audience, that will get them to promote and help you sell your book, your product, your brand as an author, right? So we need to today shift your mindset from personal to professional. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little exercise that's gonna help you do just that. I just want you to grab a spare piece of paper, the notepad on your phone, what have you. I'm just old school. And just draw a line down the middle like this, okay? And on one side, I want you to write grid. And on the other, I want you to write story/caption. Okay, so let's talk about this. This list is going to help you define your content value. It's going to help you determine what you should be posting where. Okay, so let's first continue this conversation about making sure that you're consistent and recognizable about the subject of your content, which for your grid, your profile, your feed, whatever you call it, is going to be you as an author or as a writer. And all of this content needs to be very structured and very clear to any new users that you are an author, that you have value for this audience, okay? So I want you to just take 5 minutes and make a list of things you can post about in your grid. So that could be your writing space, books that inspire you. You can really go on and get really creative here. And we can even talk about that in another video if we need to. So just take 5 minutes and do that. And remember that the real reason we're doing that is because we only have a second to get this audience. So we need to convince them of your subject matter and your brand right away, okay? That's how we do that. We do that by creating consistent content that goes on your grid. That's the first thing they're gonna see. So before you do that, let's talk about the sort of second aspect of this question, which was, well, don't they want to know about you as a person? And I really do understand that question because it is tricky. So there is a way to share a personal aspect of yourself with your audience, and that way is through inserting different aspects in your story and in your caption, okay? So on this side of the list, I want you to choose 2 or 3 things, 2 or 3 different aspects of yourself that you would also like to share with your audience, something that they can further connect with you with. So maybe if you're a parent, that might be one of them. If you're a cook, that might be one of them. If you're an outdoorsy person, that might be one of them, okay? Don't go crazy, don't do all of them because then again, it's too much. You just wanna think, what are a few things that also define me other than my being a writer, okay? So go ahead and take a minute and fill this list out. And what I want you to do after that is either take a picture of it or just type it up and submit it in the comments. Let's go over it. Let's talk about if that needs to be adjusted in any way, and it will be really helpful for the group as well. So submit that list, and remember that overall, the more defined you can make your content and your account, the more defined an audience you can garner, that you can attract, and you want this audience. This is who you want to attain, right? So you need to, from now on, think professionally about the content you produce and use that list that we're making right now to do so, okay? That is it for today's video. There will be another video very shortly, but let's continue this discussion for a few days, see where it goes and see what you can learn. I really do want to see your list, so be sure to submit those so I can give you some honest and kind feedback, and we will go from there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first Facebook video and that you found it helpful. We will talk more in the comment section.